So if you've watched my channel or if you know me, you know that I don't mind spending money on tools, but I do not like to waste my money. I'm always wanting to get the best value for my money, but I don't want to buy a cheap tool that's not going to work properly. There's been a lot of videos out about these track saws, and what I find is the most economical that gets you a great cut is this little WEN. Now this isn't a sponsored video. WEN don't know who I am. Powertec doesn't know who I am. But this is the saw I actually use. This little saw here is a plunge saw. It's got all your features, and it will fit the Powertec track. It'll fit the Makita track. It'll fit the Festool track. It will fit the WEN track, but the WEN track isn't a very good track. And so if you buy this saw with the WEN track, you're probably not going to be happy because it's the track that's not very good. But if you get a good quality track that's straight, then this saw will go into that track and it will give you a good straight cut. So now this is a tough little saw, and as you can see from the looks of it, I have used this saw a bunch and it still works perfect. I even got confused one day when I was in a hurry cleaning up and I had the saw in one hand and I had a board in the other hand. I went to throw the board in the scrap pile, and then I looked down and I still had the board in my hand. Well, I had threw the saw across the shop and it busted this little piece of the guard right here. Other than that, didn't do any damage, because this right here, this is metal. Now, a lot of the saws has got a lot of plastic and stuff on them, not this one. This one here, it's painted black and it's kind of a dull black, so it looks like a lot of plastic, but all this stuff here, this is metal. Now the knobs are plastic, but other than that, it's metal. So what do we got here? Just like on the typical saw, track saws, if you're familiar with them, you've got a button here that will lock it down so that you can change your blade. You've got your normal cut, and then you've got a scribe cut. And what happens there is that only lets the blade come down just a little bit, and that gives you a score cut across. So if you're doing some fine laminates, it will just take off the laminate, and then you can flip it in this position, and then you've got your stops right here that you can adjust, and it will then, you know, come down to whatever length you want. There's an extra little piece right here if you're trying to want to not cut it all the way. That will come down and stop, and then you can flip down and come back and make that final pass through. Okay, so we've got this one lock right here that actually locks underneath this groove, and so that locks it into the track. Also, you have your anti-kickback device. So instead of a riving knife, it has an anti-kickback, which works as good, if not better, because what you're worried about is kickbacks. And so this will keep it from kicking back without having to have a riving knife. And this one are your adjustments, so you can get this locked in super tight into the track. So a turnout, which lets it slide down, because that's our anti-kickback. We pick this up. Now this locks underneath the little flange there. And as you, this will not go backwards, but it will slide forwards with no problem. So that's with this anti-kickback. It doesn't let it slide backwards. But as you can see here, I can try pushing side to side. There is no give side to side. So this saw is going to run perfectly straight up and down in the track. This Powertec track is actually cheap enough that you can have two of them, and they have this little bracket here that we can put together, and these are 55 inches, so that'll make it 110 inches long. So that gives us plenty enough room to cut an 8-foot board, since an 8-foot board is 96 inches, but you want a little bit hanging off. And all you have to do is make sure that your gap right here is nice and tight. You just tighten up those 4 little Allen screws there. And then we flip it over. And then we slide this one right here in the middle. And again, as long as we make sure that this gap here is good and tight, then it's going to be square, because every one of these I've checked and they're all cut on a 90-degree angle. Now these Powertec tracks are about $70 a piece. I'll leave a link in the description but they have a bunch of different options. You can buy a single piece of track like this for $70. They've got for about $130 to $140. You can buy the 2 tracks. You get them that come with the connection bars. They have them in bags, so if you carry them to a work site, what I like to do is leave 2 of them together. So I have my 8-foot, and then I have my 55-inch for my 4-foot pieces. Now these have this non-slip surface on the bottom, and with this I never use clamps, but this track here on the bottom is the same size that you can use the Powertec track clamps, Festool clamps. Any of your T-track clamps will slide right in there, and then you can use those to clamp down to your surface. Okay, so the Festool is super nice. It's got Bluetooth technology where it can turn the dust extractor on and all that kind of good stuff. But I do like dust collection, and if you don't use dust collection, this thing does put out, I guess I've just become a dust snob since I've got my dust collection system, because it's a saw and it just seems to put out tons of sawdust. But you can get this little box right here, bought it off of Amazon, and what you do is you plug our saw here into this side. This side, you plug in your shop vac, and now you plug in here, and whenever the saw comes on, it will kick on your shop vac. And so then the shop vac comes on, it runs while the saw is running, and then after the saw shuts off, it runs for about another 10-15 seconds to clear out the hose, and it shuts itself off. One feature I didn't really show, that there's this coupler back here for our dust collection, and if you don't want to use dust collection, it will rotate and shoot out either side. So since I have my dust collection on this side here, I'll just put it on this side right there. Now, since this has the anti-kickback, I have to reach over here and release the anti-kickback, and so then I can slide it backwards. And once I get it locked in, then it won't go back. All right, so that's locked in there. We got our anti-kickback on. All right. And come back just a little bit more. And again, we're going to be cutting the maximum that this saw will be able to cut. Okay, so I have not cleaned up anything. I just slid the saw up just a little bit, or the track up out of the way. It almost cut all the way through. It cut through in most spots, but there's a couple of little areas. But I'm just trying to show you all the sawdust, or lack thereof sawdust. I mean, there's just a little bit that came out from up underneath the bottom, and then right at the end, this thing almost, it's unbelievable at how good the dust collection is on it. And that was going through the full thickness here. So I'm going to go ahead and bust this open, and so you can see how good the cut was. Okay, so here is the cut. Right there, there was a little bit of burning. I'm not really sure why we got the burning right there. But also, this is a hickory. It's or a pecan, which is a type of hickory. So if you've worked with hickory, let me know. That's some pretty tough stuff. So we're at 2 1/4, 2 3/8. You know, for people overseas, that's about 55 to 60 millimeters here. And like I said, we had a little burn-in right there, but right here, man, that's almost a glue line joint. And again, that's the original blade that came on the saw. Hickory is some tough wood, and we're at 2 1/8 inches is what this thing is cutting. This board here in some areas was, 2 3/8, so it was a little bit thicker. But cutting just plain old 3/4 plywood, I mean, you can't beat it. And for $70 plus $100 for the saw, we're talking under $200 for a 4-foot track saw setup. With the 8-foot track, you're looking at $140. With the saw, $250. And then the little automatic switch is probably another $30. For under $300, I'm getting all the function that I would get with the Festool, with the automatic vacuum. And as you see, this thing puts off almost no dust. And I had every intention of upgrading this to a more expensive, but again, I don't see why I need to. It has all the features that any of the more expensive saw has, and it cuts a straight line. So if you disagree with me, or if there's something that I'm missing, let me know. I think this is a great tool. Now, if I was doing countertops to where I was using this for multiple hours every day, I'm sure that this motor will wear out and wouldn't hold up like a Festool or a Makita. But if you're only breaking down 30, 40, 50 sheets of plywood a year, I think this was a great purchase.